So, welcome. How one care home, yes, one care home got positive press coverage every actual fact. The ads or the for this webinar was every 3 months for 9 years. In fact, it's every 2 months for 9 years. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be 20 minutes on this webinar. It's going to be brief, so just be ready. Please, as I always ask questions as we go in chat after 20 minutes, as many as I can. And that will be the format today. So who am I? I'm Adam. I'm founder of Spring Up PR. We help get more inquiries, care homes get more inquiries, increase occupancy and revenue faster, really via digital marketing and PR, positive press coverage and digital PR. But that's a little bit more about myself. I've worked with dozens of care home providers on exactly this. So, who am I going to be focusing about today? It's Barrow Hill Hall. It's actually a nursing home. It's up in Rochester, Staffordshire. Lovely building. It's around about 60 beds. We've been helping them out for literally 9 years. And they've given me permission. Thank you, Barrow Hill. Thank you, Dion, who's the owner, for allowing me to share everything today. So, why PR press coverage in the first place? Any questions? Remember, as we go in Q&A. Well, it's part of strategy ultimately to help them get more inquiries, increase occupancy, particularly from privates. Get the word out there to owners and care homes themselves. Often talk to me, people want to get the word out there about the great care that you do. We want to get the word out there. Well, that's exactly promotion. That's PR. That's amplifying the profile and reputation. That's the word I like to use. Amplifying the profile and reputation among local communities and families, and be seen as a care home of choice. Yeah, that's where you want to position yourself as. So this PR press coverage is one way to help secure that. Now, how can you go about getting this kind of coverage? Yeah, we're going to go into the details about that coverage a little later, but how? Well, to be honest, if you're doing it every 2 months, yeah, that's coverage every 2 months. You have to be strategic, which means that's what we do. We have a PR marketing call every month. Yeah, and it's focused on exactly that. Everyone turns up. And we talk about, let's work out the best story. The best story. That's the key word here. It's always about stories. I'm going to go through in this webinar those kinds of stories that get you these kinds of results. But this is essential. You'll be having a call every month. It's in the diary. Everyone turns up. They don't have to remind people. It's there every month, and then you work out that best story. And once you understand what story you're going to go with, then you need to understand who you're going to speak to put this story together. I'll come into that a little bit more in a moment. Any questions as we go? Q&A. Remember now. One vital point to remember is photos really do matter. Now, what are we talking about? Press coverage. So that's usually going to mean literally the printed press in your regional press. So talking about regional coverage for every single care home. So that's your catchment area. Photos matter. Always accompany your story with good photos. And now I'm going to be going through an overview of the exact news releases and the exact coverage that this home has got during last year, 2024. But if you want more details on literally the ins and outs of how to get ongoing PR and press coverage for any of your homes, go to our YouTube channel. Go and have a look at some of those videos. It will tell you exactly what to do. I try and pump in as much as I know onto these webinars to help you out. So go and check out any of those videos. Now, PR essentially, as I said, is about amplifying this word of mouth reputation. Now, what is very much in your favor, ladies and gentlemen, is that regional journalists, and it's regional journalists who we're after in your catchment area. Remember, love great, good care home stories. So that's really massively in your favor. And I'll come to that in a little bit more. So you can literally, any single care home in the UK can be aiming for press coverage every 3 months. This is about every 2 months, but every 3 months. Absolutely. Every single care home in the UK. Because they have the stories. How one care home got positive press coverage every 2 months for 9 years. On this webinar, I'm going to show you the news releases, the exact news releases for every story for this Barrow Hill care home in 2024 and the coverage secured. So ask questions as we go in Q&A. Hopefully this will give you ideas. Another thing to add, 100% guaranteed success. So every story we pitch, every story has got the coverage. 100% success rate, now for 9 years. First thing I would say is always, when you're putting that story together, write the story on a plate for your journalists that you're pitching to, again, the local media. That means 300 words. What you really want them to do is pretty much copy and paste. They won't do a copy and paste, but they'll like that story, 300 words. They think, oh, I don't have to do much work here. I've just got enough. That's really where you want to be, the best position you can be in, because remember, then that journalist will really start to like you as well, because they know they're going to get a nice story for you that's pretty much there. Heartwarming, anything that's heartwarming. And I tell you now, all your care homes have plenty of heartwarming stories. I know you do. So with a real focus on human interest, put those three together, and you're gonna get ongoing success. So here we go for news release number one. Valentine's Day. It's a Valentine's Day story. Well, there you go. So again, very pertinent for today. And you can see here where my cursor is, 300 words. The whole story is here, and it's about a married couple who are both in this care home, and they're celebrating Valentine's Day together, and it's about the care home bringing a married couple into the care home and sharing this extra special day. So you're going to have something like that that's similar. Looks more than 300 words. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Good question, George. It is actually a little bit more than 300, but it's okay to have 300 words. Roughly is what we would recommend. It's going to give you a guideline. The journalist speak, just so you know, is write the story as much as it's worth. But yeah, good observation. But 300 words is about right. This is a little bit more. But what you've got here is a strong human interest. You've got the names of this couple, and you also have here the couple met in the 60s, and it's got their story. And I tell you now, journalists love that. If you can bring in that human interest, they absolutely love it. So a nice headline, very, very clear. It's about a married couple at a Staffordshire care home. There's no notes. There's no marketing or sales guff in this. This is a story. And remember, it's going to come with great photos as well. You have to commission a photographer to take good photos. Here's the coverage. Now, this is online as well. So remember, this is helping with the SEO. It's also helping with the fact that people who are searching. Let's say I'm a family member. I want to know how Barrow Hill Hall is, what it's like. I'll do a search online, and I might even do a search on Google News. So here's the kind of coverage that was secure. And look, the journalists have gone with the angle that was pitched. And note the really nice photos. And again, this is another outlet for this home. Again, a married couple will spend Valentine's Day together. Some nice set of photos. You can hire an editorial photographer, £200. They'll come and take some great photos. Even less, actually, maybe £150. Bargain also. Always barter with your editorial photographers and get that, and make sure you get a nice set of photos, which of course you can use not only in your press coverage, your news release, but in all your promotional work. It gives a great feel about the home. So second story. Personalized care, you will do it. You're going to have great examples of it. And the human interest. Again, human interest, so important. And here's a story again. Yes, it's going to be over 300 words. Thank you, George, for pointing that out. But you can do it in 300 words. And the actual fact for this story here, you've actually be able to edit it down. And, of course, you've got we always do this on a news release. You just have a bit more information about the home that you're not necessarily including in this news story. So you've got a nice headline. Care home brings family together to mark a resident's 60th birthday. This is a 60th birthday. It happens to be someone with early onset dementia. He's been happy to give his story. And I tell you, 9.5 times out of 10, residents love to be actually involved in media projects. Not always, but 9.5 times out of 10. It's a great way to involve them and see themselves in the press. Everyone loves it. So again, look where my cursor is. Rochester Care Home brought the residents' beloved family together to mark his 60th birthday. Go again. Remember, he's a local person, so there's always the local interest. As a former soldier, and his wife come involved and is happy to be quoted. But again, it's like the care home just helped bring the family together, and it's a strong human interest story as well. Again, here's the coverage. You can see here Army theme for man with dementia's 60th birthday, and note here it's because it's human interest. You've got Ian's story, and that includes archival photos. What's gone into this, as you can see, to make sure that this is like a proper life story of this gentleman. And it really makes a difference if you can not only think about the great photos that you have in nice photos, but the kind of historical photos if it's about someone's life. And of course, your residents will have those photos. Again, here's the coverage. And again, if you get it right, you get a full page. And remember, this is online as well. Full page, because you've got a whole set of photos. You've got a nice story. Again, here, this is a different outlet. Very significant coverage. My next story, and this is the third one. We have personalized care and human interest. Again, we'll come into this. And again, I want to emphasize, write the story on a plate for the journalists. Do their job for them. That's how when we do it, that's what we always position it as being. And again, you've actually got another 100th birthday party. In this case, it's 100 birthday party. And music and the arts is the secret to talented Jean's long life. So again, strong human interest. We're mentioning here that the classic, what's the secret to a long life? Well, for Jean, it was literally music and the arts. And that's in the quote here, actually, from, I think it's one of the family members. If you can see where my cursor is. Why I'm pointing this out is that that's the angle which the press actually went on. But again, all those elements, personalized care, human interest, writing story on a plate with quotes from activities lead from Jean herself. So it's important to make sure you bring this story to life with quotes. Then you've got the whole story, as I say, on a plate for the journalists. Here we go. You said I mentioned woman's creative spark, key to reaching 100. That was actually in the news release, and a journalist has picked that up. And again, lovely photos, heartwarming photos, very, very positive news. This is what it's all about. This, by the way, is very, very good for SEO and making sure your care home gets seen when people are searching under Google News in particular. This is the fourth story. Once every 2 months. Remember, this is like strategic. This is like scheduled. Again, it's another activity-related story with a strong human interest. This one I like very much. But again, it's something that you may well be doing in your care home or something similar. Pet therapy, having a visit from, in this case, miniature ponies. And so, great photo opportunity. We can just visit. You have miniature ponies come into the home. There's going to be some great photo opportunities. Even the photos alone can get you. Good photos alone can get you the press coverage. And here's the story again. I repeat, on a plate. And with this one here, you have to remember there's going to be, here, look where my cursor is, providing activities to evoke memories and reflections that help to give residents a feeling of security and comfort. But Barrow Hill is also keen to create new memories and opportunities for residents, enabling to live stimulating, fulfilling lives. So there's actually the the public interest here of looking after our nation's elderly. You, running a care home, operating a care home, are experts in care for our nation's elderly. So you've got the healthcare and public interests, especially people with dementia, for example. Dementia related stories do very, very, very well. Dementia is a national healthcare issue, and if you can show how your home is helping people with dementia from a small way to a big way, any kind of personalized care, journalists in your regional press will love that story, I promise. So again, there is the news release that goes out. That news release goes out, by the way, just so you know, in the body of an email. In the body of an email, it doesn't go as an attachment. And here's the coverage. It's not every day a pony walks into your bedroom. In fact, and that is a quote. You see, it's in quote because that quote was taken from that news release that I showed you earlier, where I think it was the manager who said it's not every day a pony walks into your bedroom. Yeah, jokingly, but that's the line. That's the headline. I see great photos here. And, these kind of photos, just, imagine they're going to be on your website. So they're going to be for prospective families. They're going to see these photos. They're going to go, oh, this is lovely. And that's the feeling that you want, of course, to encourage people to make an inquiry. So what I'm talking about here is you want to make sure that these stories and photos you're getting maximum marketing benefit as well as the press coverage alone. Here you go again, this here, and there was a front page story, and again, see the photos that just make that massive difference to ensure, in this case, you get the full page spread. Now there's two more. I'm just waiting at the time. So there's two more stories, but I just want to, because there's 6 over 12 months, 2024. I've emphasized here, get quotes. That part of writing that story on a plate. But here again, it's the Morris Dancers. Again, lots of quotes. The full story here about the Morris Dancers and about the home. It features activity leads. Activity leads are also very good. They often like to be, because they're close to what the homes are doing. We've got quotes from the activities lead and the care home manager. And there we go. There's the coverage. Great. You remember I said at the very beginning the importance of photos. They created a real sense of joy and togetherness. I mean, it's just like you can't get better than that. Again, front page. Why? Because you actually have a great photo. Just so you know, remember this is online as well. Editors, journalists, if they have a good photo, they'll often put that good photo on the front. Here we go. Again, it's a full page. I mean, it's just crazy good. Another story here. This one here is about a drummer. Resident who's a drummer picks up his sticks to play with a former band after care home arranged a surprise reunion. Activity related. Don't always have to activity related story to get the press coverage. Go and have a look at some of those videos I gave at the top of this webinar. It gives great examples. And get the quotes. And here you go. Here's the coverage. Again, look, there's a pattern. Notice the pattern here. Photos, a story on a plate, quotes. And then you get into the rhythm of just consistent coverage. Alfred's face lit up like a child at Christmas. Here we go. So that's that story. So now I want to, just in the last 5 minutes, talk about when you are pitching these stories. There you go. You saw those stories, those news releases, when you are pitching them to your regional journalists. My strong tip is have the headline in the email subject line. You remember you saw those headlines on those news releases? Get that headline in the email subject line. That means if I am a journalist receiving that news release, I can automatically see, that's the story. Great. I'm interested already. Distribute your news releases via email to named journalists, for your regional media. And we focus here, we haven't really included BBC radio and ITV and BBC television. Just so you know, this home actually doesn't really want TV coverage, but the same principles apply. Make sure you get the named journalist and distribute to the named journalist. You want to cultivate a relationship with that named journalist, especially if you're getting coverage, year on year, every 2-3 months. So find out who those journalists are. Just call to find out the names of the journalists. Introduce yourself if you can when you're starting on this journey. And if you're wondering, like how to get the details of your local journalists, they'll also have their social media channels, X in particular. And here's an example here. Even if you want your local television journalists, BBC South East, they are on X, and they'll give you their emails. Here, on my cursor is Poppy Jeffries. I've got a story here that gives you a generic email. But my suggestion is get the email of that individual journalist. And when you follow up those great stories, you've got that story, you're pitching it by email initially, and then just follow up. You want to cultivate a good relationship with those journalists. 9 times out of 10, when you send that story, you will not hear back. I always like to make sure that they're not on holiday, the journalist has moved on to another section or another, changed jobs, and it's someone else, and the website that's been updated. Or sometimes emails go into spam. Yes, it happens. It happens the whole time. So follow up and follow up. Follow up can be fun. Yeah. So you can follow up, courteously, politely. Oh, I just want to check out to find out whether you got this story. You don't need to pitch it again. They've got the story. You've written it on a plate. You just want to make sure they've got it, they've seen it. And that way you can start to build up a relationship. Once you start to have a relationship, they are going to come back to you. We see it the whole time, particularly, just so you know, the TV journalists. So yeah, make it a little bit of fun. Yeah, often I hear people say, oh, they don't like to feel as though they're being, overly persistent or annoying. You're going to have a good story. Just make sure they've got it. Make sure they've received it. They might have one or questions. Because, yeah, there are reasons sometimes they don't get it. Often when I've done these follow-ups, journalists will say, oh, yeah, I remember that. So can you send it to me again? Yeah, of course. So that's why this follow-up is so important, because there's nothing more disheartening of you pitching a good story and the journalist not covering it. And you're going, why? It might be because there's one of those reasons. Yeah. So unravel it and get to the bottom of it and start to have a good relationship with that journalist. Also on this subject, if you start to have a relationship with them, you can talk about possible stories. You can even talk about, possible stories before you send it to them once you've got that relationship. And I tell you, after 9 years, you will have that relationship. So another little secret here when pitching again to the TV and BBC and ITV TV is go to what I call the planning department. The planning department on the news editor. These are the people, again here, who actually schedule in what the journalist will cover during that week or month. So if they know, let's say, you've got miniature ponies coming to visit your care home, which is a great story for TV, then, contact this editor or planning department and mention you have this happening, and then they can plan it in to have the cameras ready when you do have your miniature ponies coming into your home or some other similar activity, for example. Any questions on this, please, as we go in Q&A. So we're almost done, so thank you so much. So please ask me any questions. We do this the whole time, and I can answer any questions you have, please. And also, if you're just wondering finally if this can work for you, I've got to apply for a 14-minute. Just apply for a 15-minute Zoom call. Don't worry, I'm not going to pitch anything to you. I just want to help you with anything that you may be wondering about your homes. Just email PR to hello@springup-pr.com or text that number. But please, if you're interested in this, just do it now. That would be great. So look at that. I've got 1 minute. I'll tell you what, 2 minutes. If you have any questions, please just fire away. So Jack, yeah, the TV. So TV. So yeah, as again, journalists do. So the question is, is there anything different when you're pitching to the TV? No, it's the same. It's always good if you send them a story, as I said, on a plate. But you have to bear in mind the TV journalists, and again, this is in your favor, are looking for it helps if they have stories that will have a good visual element. And again, the great thing about your care homes is they will have a great visual element. As you know, all those examples I gave, they feature. It's going to be at the home. You're going to have professionals, experts, your manager available for commentary. It's about looking after the nation's elderly, so you've always got that public interest as well. And you may have, for example, the ponies or celebrating a birthday. You're going to have something that works well on camera. So journalists actually really, really like that. So that's another key element. Another question, again from Imran, is on what about if you feel you don't have relevant activities? Yeah, 100%. I understand that. The great thing about your home is, if I promise you, if I walked into your care home right now, I would probably find two, three stories immediately round about the personalized care, maybe some of your achievements of your staff, dedication to care, how long your manager's been at the home, insights around dementia care, all these kinds of stories that would should be strong that aren't related to a particular activity, but they are likely to have a strong human interest. For example, a care home manager who has been there for 10 years and loves care and has dedicated his or her life to care. Why I love care, this kind of story really, really works. Again, there's no activity involved. It's just about focusing on the story of that individual care home manager, just to give you one example. So I hope that helps. If there's any more questions, please just put them in chat right now and I will answer them. But yeah, we've been exactly half an hour. So happy Valentine's Day and have a great rest of your day.